Welcome to Cardano Over Coffee with your hosts Hero Pool, Jenny from the blockchain, Epoch Pool, and TCT. Today we have Katalyst Studios, a visual and auditory art creation studio on the Cardano blockchain. It's a space for like-minded individuals. Then we have Hyena Motorcycle Club talking about their game and their upcoming tournament with a prize pool of 3,000 ADA. Grab some coffee and let's jump right in with Katalyst Studios.
Hey, first of all, thank you for having me. Hope all is well. I'm Ahmad. We're based out of Egypt, and we're Katalyst Studio. We're a music and art curation studio, and to summarize, our purpose basically lies within building an alternative to the current system in the music and art industry, which relies on a strong infrastructure where artists are fairly treated and compensated for their work. Because obviously, we all know how unfair the music and art industries could be. So one of the things we focused on is flipping the script on that. So creatives we work with will get compensated well. So the share we have is 90% to the creative, to the artist, and 10% goes towards that, which is obviously a lot, but this is not going to be our main source of income per se. Which brings us to the two main aspects of the project, or the two main utilities. The first one being Katalyst Collective, which is a way to enable music artists to be heard and give them the opportunity for their music to be heard and recognized, as well as monetize that. And the collective aims to highlight and support talented artists in the space, and as well as up and coming artists in general, whether it's regionally here in the Middle East or even internationally. And this is gonna be done through submissions. Like artists can will have the opportunity to submit their work, and once a month, we will our curators will pick someone for us to work with. And the second part would be the auction house, which is the same exact idea, but for visual artists. So we'll once a month we'll auction a piece of art that by one of our community members or artists, that our holders will be able to basically bid on. And we're currently minting, and in order to have access to these
Before we get to that, and you're
Yeah.
minting and all that stuff, can you tell me how you found Cardano, and then tell me why you picked the name Katalyst, because that's very confusing considering our biggest funding project is called Katalyst. Do you think that there's a little bit of confusion that may go on there for you?
In terms of confusion, this Catalyst came, like, it was already a thing before I even got into NFTs. I was already into Cardano previously. I got into crypto in January 2020, and I've always focused on Cardano. For some reason it attracted me, and I obviously started learning more about it. And obviously the more you know, like, the truth will always prevail. Like, it's the only real blockchain that is scalable and that actually fully works in my view, at least. That's why I've never even been involved in any NFT space besides Cardano. I haven't even went to Ethereum. I just came to Cardano as soon as.
Why the name Katalyst then?
The name Katalyst is because we are technically trying to be the catalyst to the adventure of the artist and the enthusiast receiving the piece of art, whether it's music or whether it's a visual piece of art. So we're simply trying to be the catalyst
But with the Katalyst program, Cardano has a huge program called the Katalyst program. So now when I say to somebody, hey, have you checked out Katalyst Studios? They're going to be like, oh, what's that? Is that something I can go vote on these Katalyst projects?
Yeah, true. I guess just that the name was already there, because before this project became what it is, it was a music curation agency. So we still do offer these services, music creation services. So it was basically simply a music creation studio before it became what it is now. So the name was already there before I even knew about Katalyst Foundation.
Yeah, the reason somebody asked via DM, so I just wanted to get that out there because they were confused already.
Yeah,
So,
no, makes sense.
tell me about the background on in working in blockchain. You're talking about doing NFTs. How are you minting them? Do you have a team? Talk about that a little bit.
So on the minting side, we previously we were working with another minting service, but we decided to change. It was very last minute because we were offering native tokens, like minting in native tokens for our mint, which is currently live. And there was an issue with getting that set up, so we had to kind of switch services last minute. And now we're working with Six City. I'm not sure if you know who they are, but we're working with them. And personally, for me, I'm not a developer, or we obviously we have Sixity working on that. But in terms of
What
NFT,
previous background do you or your
yeah,
team have
yeah.
in blockchain other than um, what blockchain background do you have in building in the blockchain, and also what other business building business backgrounds do you have?
Okay, so in terms of in the space in general, I started initially trading in 2020, but then I came across Cardano NFTs, and I've been a part of the community for over a year now in several projects like growing pains, chilled kongs and goats, and several projects in general. And for business experience, I have a bachelor in entrepreneurship, and I've developed multiple businesses in the past. Uh, Obviously, it wasn't involved in the blockchain, but things like I've had it's just reselling business, and I've worked in a digital marketing agency, and yeah.
So, can you tell me a little bit about what you did there? I mean, how are you going to build this business? Doesn't sound like there's much background in business behind you. And then also tell me about the mint. Then also, you keep mentioning it. Like we'll get there, but
Yeah.
I looked at some of the art. Tell me about who the artist is, also, please, because the art looks it's nice looking art. The mint that's going on now.
Okay, so I'm also I'm a DJ. I've been a DJ for 5 to 6 years, and I'm also a music creator. I don't know why I completely forgot that. um, and yeah, regarding the mint, so the artist is also an artist here from Egypt. He's a 3D artist called Mustafa, and I've been working with him for 7 months now for this collection. And yeah, the mint is live at the moment, and some of the benefits of minting would be accessing the auction house and the music collective. Obviously, they're not out at the moment, but when they're out, the holders. These are some of the benefits we will have.
You're saying that an auction house and a music player is going to be the benefit of holding the NFT. What about the other projects that are out there that are building players already, right? Music players. There's several people out there building these types of things.
It's not a music player. It's just a way of like getting artists like getting artists out there, like selling music NFTs, basically. Uh,
Well,
enabling.
I was saying, are you working with any of these other projects that are building these things so that when you're selling the music, that they'll be integratable with these music players and things that are being built on the Cardano blockchain right now?
We're definitely looking to get in touch with some of the projects in the music NFT scene, like the Listening Room, Music Box NFT. And we also are in touch with the multiple artists in the CNFT scene as well. So we, in due time, we'll get these things lined up. And also some of the things we've done in real life is we've managed to get placements for the art you've seen in huge techno events here in Egypt over this past summer. And there was more than 3,000 people in attendance, and you can see it check it out on Instagram if you'd like. And we're also working on getting the art in physical galleries regionally here in Egypt and in Dubai.
So this NFT that you're minting now, I get it, I buy it, and then I you said the benefit would be the auction house, so I can go in there and auction, and then I mean I don't know that that's. I'm trying to understand why somebody would buy the NFT.
Yeah, I'm trying to like understand that the utility side of it. I mean, I know that you get it, you have it, but yeah, maybe just like recap on that.
It would be for people who are obviously interested in in music or art and interested in supporting that bridging from Web 2 to Web 3. And also you'd be able to, some of the other benefits is getting access to any obviously future job, and getting discounted prices on the music creation services.
Music creation services. What is that?
This is music creation services. So we do things like creating online radio stations for projects or brands we've worked with, and also just simply curating playlists. We've worked with Chilled Kongs. We worked with Growing Pains, and we've also worked with brands off of outside of the NFT space in general, like Aero, which is founded by the co-founder of Uber. So it's a semi-private jet company. So we've definitely worked with some brands already.
So you hold the NFT and you get access to that. How does that work?
It basically gives you, if your project, if you hold the NFT and you're a project owner or business owner, and for whatever reason you would like these services for your brand, you would get a discounted price on the services.
Okay, so it serves as a discount card for services. It also as a whitelist for future drops.
Yeah.
And then for the auction house, what is that again?
The auction house is where we the auction like we artists visual artists would be able to submit their art, and we'd pick someone monthly where someone would auction their art for our holders to bid on. So there would be like a specific policy ID for the auction house where all these pieces auctioned would be listed under.
So it almost feels like it's a membership card that has different elements to it.
Basically.
Got it. Anybody has any questions? Feel free to come up here and ask while we have him here.
Yeah, are you onboarding new artists, and does like each artist have their own like art style collection, or how does that work?
So we are we are onboarding artists, as well as obviously empowering the artists already in the CNFT community, like people like Nido and other artists prevalent in the CNFT space, as well as onboarding regional artists here from the Middle East, because there are a lot of up and coming artists, and and I have connections with people, for example, here in Egypt and in Dubai, that are able to get in contact with these artists. So it's gonna be a mix of both, because also we're trying to bridge that gap and kind of combine both, and not for it to be a separate thing.
Can you tell me any artists that you've worked with that are currently on Cardano? They're doing music on Cardano, or any music artists that you worked with?
We have
I know you mentioned some, but I didn't catch them. I apologize.
we haven't worked with any yet, but some of the ones, if you're asking of like some of the ones I've talked to before, or like kind of in a small community with, Acidica, for example, from Happy Acid Dreamers Club, Disguise from the Listening Room. There's plenty, honestly. We have a little Twitter group.
I'm going to be honest, right? I have concerns
Yeah.
with your project, right? You're promising music curation, but you haven't worked with anybody in the blockchain. You don't have much
We have
blockchain background, but you're pushing these NFTs for me to invest in to get these future benefits. So explain to me, like, I have true concerns there. Explain to me why I should buy your NFT, or why I shouldn't have these concerns.
We have worked with first of all, in terms of like concerns, like about, for example, like I'm doxxed by bear market bearmarket.io, Ted Nation, and we have worked with NFT projects before. We did music creation for Chilled Kongs. You can find I can drop you the links if you'd like. They're on YouTube, and we've done some Spotify playlists for Growing Pains, which are both Chilled Kongs, and Growing Pains are Cardano.
I just asked if you worked with anybody music-wise on the blockchain, and you said no.
No, I thought you were asking about the specific artists, like because I mentioned Nido.
No, because that's working with somebody in the blockchain doing music for them, right? You were working with the Chilled Kongs.
I misunderstood that, but we did work with, because I already previously mentioned that we worked with Chilled Kongs and Growing Pains, so I thought that's already out of the way.
I think you need to work on your presentation a little bit, to be honest, sir. I've interviewed like hundreds of NFT projects, and like you mentioned them, yeah, but you just said we did stuff with Chilled Kongs. How am I supposed to know that you did music for Chilled Kongs? Like is the type of stuff that you need to fill into your presentation.
I promise you, I said I actually did mention that we did like curated playlists for Chilled Kongs and Growing Pains, but it's okay anyway. But yeah, we did. It's you can find them on our Discord.
Okay. So this mint you have going on, what's the price of it?
100 ADA.
How did you come to that price point?
It's just based off of first of all, the quality of the art, and second of all, the things we are planning to do. So we obviously would need to raise some certain amount of capital for us to be able to fulfill our promises.
I mean, being as a business, right?
Sorry.
Why are you relying? Is your only income source the NFT sale for right now? Like, is there no other income source to help you build the business?
There is the music creation services. So we, as I mentioned, we create online radios and curate playlists for brands. So that is one of our incomes.
Okay, and how long I know you mentioned some artists, but how long lengthwise have you been doing the music curation in terms of?
A couple of years, prior to it becoming an NFT project, I've worked as a music creator as well for a digital marketing company called TribeX.
Okay. I don't have any more questions. I don't know if TCT or Jenny or Katalyst, just anything else that you want to get out.
No, I mean, what are you like minting? Are you trying to spread the word so people know? I mean, it seems like you work with Chilcons. You created a playlist for them. Is that like the only collaboration you've done in the community of you've collaborated with more people?
No, we've also done a Spotify playlist for Growing Pains. And we've done a trait crossover with 5 projects for this month. Chilled Kongs, Growing Pains, Happy Acid Dreamers Club, and Ada Goats and Mikasi.
Have you done that like as Katalyst Studio or?
It's the collection is called Citizens by Katalyst Studio. So in this collection there are 3 to 4 pieces from each collab.
Got it. Yeah, no, I guess, just my recommendation is just, go to the listening room, go talk, mingle with the music community and, collaborate. I think the Cardano it's pretty much a collaboration hub. That's the best way to grow. So you can get people's trust. We're very guarded here with all the rug pools and cash grabs are everywhere and other chains. So, that helps if you want to get people to, just embrace your project. Definitely, yeah, like move around and embrace other people's projects and, get to know everybody and opportunity for others to ask questions for you to get more used to the questions and have better answers. It definitely helps. And come back here and share with us,
I used to be on a lot of Twitter spaces before I started working on this project, but since I've started, I've been obviously off, not off of Twitter, but I haven't been as active in the space in general because I spend a lot of my time just working on the project. So I've been a little rusty speaking on spaces and stuff. But yeah, I understand that my presentability wasn't the best, but I'm just a little rusty, so I apologize.
I have one question, if you guys don't mind.
Sure, go ahead.
Go for it.
So, like, say I'm an artist or a music producer. Are you guys proposing that you operate like a regular music studio, like a publisher? Like, it would be a benefit for me as an artist to go to you because you handle all the publications, the platforming, the marketing, etc., rather than start my own project and compete with you directly.
No, not necessarily. In terms of this, the marketing and publishing and all of that, it's just simply pushing your music, and also keep in mind not all artists, Web3 artists, for example, know how to mint their own music and or necessarily have the marketing or the following to be able to actually monetize that track they want to sell. So they could technically, for example, mint it on JPEG, for example, and post it on their Twitter, but it might not necessarily raise as much money as they'd hope for them to obviously keep doing this. So for us, we could also push your music in terms of article placements, etc. But the main thing is just getting your music out there for the people and being able to monetize it for yourself.
Katalyst, anything you want to finish up with? Since it doesn't seem like anybody else has any questions, where would people go to do the mint? You said is live now, 100 ADA. Where would people go to actually mint it you have a Discord you'd mentioned.
Uh, but yeah, it's on the Discord. So you just join the Discord, and there's the channel called the Citizens Mint, and the address is there and all the information you need. So yeah, and thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for taking time out of your day. And as you're building this business here on Cardano, we would appreciate you come back, give us any updates in the future.
For sure.
You know, appreciate it.
For sure, man. Thank you for your time.
And I had to go shovel my neighbor out in the middle of that. So I apologize if I missed you mentioning anything. I mentioned to Jenny in our chat that I was AFK, but I don't think she saw it. My neighbor was stuck. We got like a bunch of snow overnight. So
Don't worry about it. No, it's okay.
Anyhow, I don't know that our second guest is here, which...
I think so. I see him. I'm up here.
Do you? I don't see them. Oh, there they are. I see them now. They're always lurking.
They're chasing you. They're like, finally, we get Hero.
Oh, my page just went off. I gotta go.
Oh, no. Was that a joke?
It was a joke. But now that I joked about it, it's gonna happen. You never joke about things like when you're a volunteer fireman, you don't joke about the pager never going off, because as soon as you do that, it goes off. It's just one of those things.
Well, they're here and you're here, so at least even if it's for 5 minutes, it happened.
What up, dude?
Hi, everyone. I see today's attendance is a bit on the low side. Is that because of the everyone on holiday mood and
this bear market, man? It's strange. Like, attendance is kind of funny. Some days there's 100 people in here, and some days there's like 20, and there's no in between. Get it?
But the holidays definitely. Right now, everybody's super busy.
I mean, it's 2 days before Christmas, like 3 days, whatever. I don't know, but I'm not a big Christmas fan. Like, these holidays suck for me. And then you have New Year's. It'll be slow on Twitter Spaces probably until next year.
Yeah,
so
definitely. I think it looks that way already.
Especially the morning shows, right? As you get later in the evening, people don't, especially now, they don't want to get up early. They're off today. If they're not at work, they don't want to listen to us. They want to sleep in.
Well, I mean, for us, it's 3:30, so it's bang in the middle of the day, so it's not really morning. But
yeah, I would say the majority of our crowd is USA, though, for the most part. Yeah.
Well, excellent.
So what's going on? Introduce yourself for those of you that don't know.
Yeah.
You've been here quite a few times, but just for somebody that might not have met you before.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's been here more than Epoch.
That I do agree on.
Definitely. No, thank you for having me again. I believe that's Hero Pool is speaking behind Cardano over coffee. Is that right?
Correct.
Excellent. Yes. Yeah. And, happy to see Jenny B and the rest of the gang. Being so many times, over Cardano over coffee that, it feels, really without, any, hindsight as a family. So, but anyhow, for those, the first time attending, or listening to us speaking, we are, Hell's Hyena Motorcycle Club, or for a short, HHMC. We have been, building on Cardano since October 2021. We've launched our first alpha game back in April, limited number of players and attendance at the time. It was a closed alpha. Now we launched the beta in October, and we have updated since twice, back in November. So the game is now a lot more smoother. We've introduced a bit more NPCs, so-called. So these are similar to GTA actors in the game. So you've got some, police people, some civilians, which you can obviously be mindful of when you're shooting your enemy. But the aim of or the reason of today's trying to speak over Cardano, over coffee, is just because we have this tournament we're trying to arrange. We've done a giveaway just to sign up for the game back in a few weeks ago. I think last week we closed. So the first the prize pool that we set is 3,000 ADA. I know it's not much given today's prices, but if you the one like myself, hodling, then that should be a bit more than a couple of coffee when better times come along. So yes, so we announce on Twitter, to participants as to what would be the best time to play. We're just gathering a bit more comments as to convenience of time for people, so that we can fight off our tournament play as well. So that's what we're trying to do, and more to come. So these are just the first the tournament prizes we set aside, but we're planning to do more, and we're planning to launch a mobile version as well. That would be hopefully January, so the people a bit more lazy with the PC, understandably, because not everyone have time sit behind the desk and spend hours, but everyone have mobile which they can use.
Hey! You watch those behind the computer comments, sir.
Well, I mean, that's the feeling we get. That's the the feedback we're getting. Saying, "Well, do you have a mobile?" Well, no.
Well, a lot of people are on the go now, right? So, especially I'm an old head gamer, right? So I don't mind sitting behind my computer and play. I don't play many mobile games, and I think that comes to just the age difference in the gaming world, right?
Quite possibly, yeah.
So I like the fact that you're doing a mobile game, and I'm glad to hear about the NPCs. I got a question about that, but I'll let you finish your spiel.
Well, that was pretty much it, and I wanted to ask you too. I know Jenny B said last time that you've given us some positive feedback, just trying to get more substance from you as to what you think. I know you gave it a shot. I don't know if you tried the latest version.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I have not tried the latest version, and that was my thing, was like there wasn't NPCs yet, but the gaming was very smooth. It ran very well on my computer. Now I do have a gaming computer, right? So
excellent.
But very smooth. The movements were smooth. The shooting, like the gun, the graphics were good. I had zero complaint. My thing was like no NPCs, and then that update came out I think like a week after I had tried it or so. It wasn't very long, and then my question is do I have to go back in and re-download, or what do I need to do to go try it in its latest version?
Yes, that's a bit of inconvenience we have at the moment, because this is not an installer game. I mean, if it was, for example, you just launch exe file which installs behind the scene, lots of files in program files, then it would have been possible. But because we're trying to avoid all these complications and people sometimes not being comfortable downloading or installing stuff, so we trying to avoid installation, but download is the only option for the moment to have the latest version. All you do is just to delete the old one and download the new one. I know it takes time. It's a bit of a size. I think it's 3 gigabytes. But the good thing is it stays on your computer as a file, so it doesn't change anything. It doesn't install itself. It doesn't download anything additional. It's just a bit of a safety precaution.
There's no execute files.
No,
what you're saying.
Correct.
So I don't have to worry about. So if you go and download this game to try it out, you don't have to worry about getting a virus.
No, but
you should scan it for a virus,
yes,
right? But you don't got to worry about
correct
doing anything.
So
to your
once
computer.
you unzip, or before you unzip, you can just scan it through with any, or 2, 3 if you have obviously everyone have one, but you can try Defender Windows and then switch off and then switch on your commercial antivirus, and then but we do scan pretty much daily just to be on the safe side that nothing externally comes in. It's just automated.
I definitely worded that absolutely ass backwards, and I apologize. You can still get a virus, but they're not putting something malicious into your computer.
No. But that's just because we wanted to avoid downloading and installing in program files. That's why we've done it launcher based, which means it's literally like JPEG file, heavy, big JPEG file, on your computer. You can just press delete and delete. You don't have to go installer, the program files, controls, and applications, and uninstall. None of that. So it just is literally like a JPEG file, like a big JPEG file.
Awesome. So you're doing this tournament. Tell me about this tournament.
Yes. So we're trying to set aside a time, and the whole idea behind is people come along at the same time and play, and whoever wins, from the both teams on the leaderboard, because it's live, you could easily press tab and see who's winning and who's scoring the most. Those will be instantly up upon the completion of the game, selected as winners, basically. So, and we thinking of few hundred ADA instantly for the first and second place. Second place meaning that whoever is the second team, number one, but obviously less than the other team, for example. And it's paid out the next day. So that's what we're doing pretty much. There is no, for the moment, investment to do on players' behalf, so they don't have to do anything or spend anything. But if they want to utilize the play to earn mode, which is earning the in-game currency plus unlocking skins and weapons as NFTs, then you need to have one of the NFTs. But for tournaments, we're trying to do it for everyone, so you don't have to even hold HHMC NFT in order to play and participate.
It's awesome. So you haven't scheduled a date or anything on that?
Not yet. We have had quite a number of.
Wait for after the holiday season, please.
Yes, that's what we're trying, I think, because it's such a different time table of.
For those of you that never been around crypto during the holiday season, everybody just disappears, and it'll pick up the week after again with people coming back. But this is a dead time of the season, and especially crypto Twitter. And we're in the middle of a huge ass bear market. So, well, actually, I think we're towards the tail end of it, but don't tell anybody that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be the wise decision for us, obviously, to do, because as you can see, the audience 26 people. Usually this is the lowest I think I've seen when I attended, obviously. So
whoa, don't be fudding us. We're at 30, and if people would use the little chat bubble down there like I asked, 3 people have, and I think one of them was me. No, there's like 18 retweets, there's 18 likes, 815 people have viewed our space, only 30 have joined. So maybe that tells you something.
And to be fair, we're in the middle of a nasty storm too. Like, that's affecting a lot of people. So this is
a lot of people are traveling. Like BlockJock, he left today holiday season starts today, right? So a lot of people traveling to get to wherever they need to be to their families for the holidays. And then it's bad weather on top of it. Epoch pushed his nephew and broke his arm last night. Like, it's just things like that.
Oh yes. What is Light Donation?
He had a baby.
Wow.
He had a baby just a couple of days ago.
Like yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday. Oh my gosh.
Wow. He will be tied up for quite a number of weeks, I'm guessing, with all the sleepless nights.
Yeah. He was like, I'll be there Monday. And I'm like, yeah, sure, Lido. Sure. It's his first baby.
Lido will be. Miss Lido is she's got her work cut out for her. Because I know Lido. He'll be like, I gotta go to work, honey.
Yeah, he's quite a workaholic. Every time he tries to be on the spaces, and if you want to reach out to him, he's quite available most of the time. So yeah, kudos to Lido Nation.
Yeah, shout out Lido Nation. Yeah. So,
any questions?
How's the is the ISPO still going on for the token, the 5 tokens? Is that still a
correct?
thing?
Yes. I believe this is the last month, December, because it finishes, if I'm not mistaken, on the 17th of Jan. So I think you passed that. Well, I mean, you do get qualified still for a number of epochs left until the 17th, but obviously the yield of that would be smaller than you would expect if you attended.
Yeah, just so for people are aware, HHMC was part of the Genius X launch pad where they did a 5 token, the first multi-token ISPO. So there was like Drunken Dragons, HHMC, and a couple other projects that I can't remember off the top of my head, that you earned all of their tokens by staking to the stake pool. So a different look on an ISPO. So that was very interesting that you guys were involved with that. I hope it went very well for you.
Well, I mean, given the market circumstances, it's not as we've planned and anticipated, but that's understandable because
welcome to crypto.
Yes, yeah. Well, I mean, the whole participation wise as well, because I'm guessing the people delegating using their own wallet to ADA yield rather than ISPO, but it's a matter of choice, I believe.
Hey, I hate to interrupt you, but I did just get called out. Jenny, I'll be back. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope it's not bad.
Bye, Hero. Drive safe.
Yes. Just
an Epoch is here.
Oh yes.
Okay,
I'm
good.
here.
Got a
Oh my
relay
God.
going.
I have a special Hero pager. He gets paged, and I get paged.
People only call me when I'm at the gym, no other time. They just know that I'm there.
Are you lifting today? Is today a gym day?
Yesterday was. Today's a rest day, and it seems like Saturday has to be too because the gym's not going to be open.
I think rest days are a myth. Anytime, my wife is taking a rest day and I work out, then she immediately somehow has the energy to work out. So there's not a lot of rest days going on here. But I'm sick like a dog, so maybe today.
Actually, I looked at a picture of you shoveling yesterday, and I thought you looked sick already. Maybe you didn't realize you were sick, but I looked at your eyes, and I'm like,
The eyes gave me away. Yeah,
maybe
this
it
is the
was like
second day.
I'm a mom, so maybe that's what it is. I'm like, oh, you look like you're getting sick.
I always look tired, so all of the PFP NFTs I buy have the sleepy eye trait.
That's hysterical.
I have an Ore with sleepy eyes, and my disco here has the sleepy eyes.
That's awesome. Jenny, do you also, require that all children in your vicinity wear socks to prevent them from getting colds? Because that's my mom's move every time. She's like, "You're gonna get sick. You don't have socks on." I'm like, "Is
No,
this
but my
debunked yet?"
husband always says, oh, I always use this. My husband used to always say that a sweater, the definition of a sweater, is that thing that moms put their children when they are cold. Like, because kids are always like, I don't want it. And moms are like, wear it.
Yeah, it's like when I'm out shoveling snow. I start with a jacket, and then I get hot in the jacket. I move to the sweatshirt. The sweatshirt gets hot, and then I'm out there in my t-shirt, and my neighbors think I'm insane.
Checks out. Checks out. So, have we mid-rolled?
No, we haven't. What time is it? Oh no, we still have our guest. I mean, he's been here for like what, 10 minutes, or it's probably been longer. I don't know. Do you have any questions for him before we do the mid roll? And wrap it up and see anything else you wanted to share with us, and then stay and banter with us for the rest of the day.
Yeah, sorry to cut in HHMC. Is there anything else that you're excited for in Q1 this year or next year?
Yeah, definitely. I had heard that the Stellar blockchain has a partnership with Ukraine and they're helping them launch a CBC. They also have some things going on in Africa and Brazil. So I think people are sleeping on Stellar, not just Cardano.
Sleeping on what? On Stellarhead?
Stellar.
Like the crypto, not Stellarhood, the
Yeah,
NFT.
Stellar. Yes.
Yeah, Stellar's interesting. They got some good bones, good
I
partnerships.
used to own stuff. Like maybe that's some of the stuff that had in Celsius. Now that I think about it.
I bet you do have Stellar there. I sold all my Stellar in the great rebalancing of 2018, where I tried to accumulate as much ADA as possible.
The great rebalancing was when I got into the market in January when ADA was like 17 to 20 cents. Ended up with like 40,000 or so.
Good eating there.
I just want to say one thing before we lose HHMC. Thank you so much for actually providing a workable beta before you ask for money. That's so rare and appreciated in the space.
Well, yes, we understand, it's not easy times at the moment. One, and second is, you have to, promote somehow, and you cannot promote by asking ADA. So that's why we're giving away, ADA, for people, be a bit more active.
How many daily users are you getting on the beta?
Well, I mean, it's difficult to measure, and the reason being it's the same old issue that people, most of the people, not registering their wallet correctly. So we have steps on download page, and we seeing the logs that the people are skipping some of the steps and not registering the wallet correctly. That means the ADA wallet, browser wallet, NAMI or Eternal. So, and that's why these are like a ghost players. So they're not. We can't see in the logs, but we cannot see in the leaderboard. So if we're looking into the logs, then we're looking into maybe 350, 400. But if you look into the leaderboard, it's a far less number because for some reason just people neglecting some of the steps or even sometimes putting in wrong ADA account. I don't understand how they're doing it, but we tried and tested many times. It's hard to do it, but for some reason, we're seeing those trends, which is quite weird. But but it's easy to see if you registered or not. You look up on the leaderboard. If you're not appearing, that means you've skipped some of the steps or one step of the registration process.
Interesting. Yeah, I think onboarding is a pretty important part of any platform. So hopefully, y'all can iterate on that process. I'm sure it's straightforward, but maybe there's some additional statefulness or walkthrough functionality, or I don't know what y'all are cooking up, but it's definitely critical to get those people onboarded correctly, right?
Yes, absolutely, and that's why we put it in bold, font on the download page, saying please do carefully follow each step. If you skip one of the steps, then you don't get registered for the play to earn mode, or even if you not own one of the HHMC NFTs, if you want to play, It's free to play. You don't have to have anything, but at least if you register, then you appear on the leaderboard. If they're not appearing on the leaderboard, that means they don't even, follow through the steps. And they're quite simple. I mean, it takes literally seconds for each step. So it's not cumbersome, long process where you have to do something, spending 5 or 10 minutes. Downloading the game the longest, obviously it takes 3 gigabyte, 10-15 minutes, but registration process, you can register it in 2 minutes.
It went from seconds to minutes in that quick conversation.
Wow. I don't think I said seconds, because it doesn't take seconds, because you have to input your email, and then you get automated PIN number in your email.
That's what's making people drop off. I bet you it's just the additional information is making people say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to complete that step.
Well, you can use any email. You don't have to. It has to be accessible, obviously, but there are no personal information such as your name or date of birth or any of that address. Email is just because to avoid bots. We have seen, previously, that if you don't do this, then you get loads of bots, registering, and this obviously is one of the prevention methods from bots registering into games, and that's also the information we gathered speaking to different other similar gaming projects. So that's why this is in place, and for convenience, because obviously if you lose your password, then you can get a reminder by pressing reset, and then it's easier than going through the whole process again.
Makes sense. Yeah, battling bots is. Did you ever watch that show, Battle Bots? They had the robots, and they would battle the remote control.
That up again.
Yeah, if only we could find a way to get these bots to fight each other to our entertainment, rather than them taking down our platforms. Just thinking out loud for the innovators out there.
I don't remember those battle bots.
You don't?
I'm trying to. I'm just pushing my brain as
it's like
far
an
as
arena. They have some of them have little ramps. Some of them have just a massive hammer. Some have a chainsaw attached to it.
Oh, yeah. Now I know what you mean. Okay. So now you're trying to take that into the virtual side of things.
Exactly. How do we pin the bots against each other so we can laugh at their botness? But anyway, what questions might you have, Jenny? And are you behind the coffee cup?
No, I'm actually, that's a hero that got paged. So I'm just here holding the fort with you. Are you going to have that playable version that you don't need an NFT to play forever, or is this just for now?
Well, it's forever. Because we're trying to people just to try the game, they can play the game for free. They don't have to spend anything. They don't have to buy anything. But if they want to get better in terms of obviously, better weapons, skins, and progress because you get a ranking up system, then you need to have one of the NFTs. It's similar to PUBG and Fortnite, what you can play for free. But it's a bit boring when you're playing the box standard free version, because it's mundane. But if you want something a bit more sleek and flashy, then obviously you have to buy one of them skins and stuff. So you can say it's a similar approach that everyone can play. And if you want to better your experience, then you can utilize one of the NFTs.
I think that's actually great, and I think that a lot of projects are doing that. But I always wonder if it's just something that the industry understands that is important right now, because we're small as an ecosystem, and we need players, or if it's something that is going to be like that moving forward. Because I think that it's kind of interesting how you get to now play these games for free like that. I mean, you always get these free versions, right, of games, but not to this kind of games, right? Usually, the games that allow for you to play free before you pay are not the games that you get these free versions right now. Like, you really get to do a lot of free play for games that are being developed using, trying to get into Web3 or metaverses or things like that. But I just wonder if it's going to be like that forever, if it's going to be a new norm, or if it's just as we reach for adoption.
Yeah, I think it takes time for some of the Web2 diehard players get onto the Web3, because we, often see people even commenting in Twitter posts that, it's to do something with NFT. Ouch! No, I don't want that. It's a scam. So I mean, the perception still, people not familiar with the blockchain NFTs is quite apprehensive, which is why I think it will take time before people understand. Well, you're spending for Fortnite, $10, $20, $100 for skins and stuff. It's the same thing. You play it for free and more, because last time I played it was a long time ago, but I think it's very limited play wise what you can do with free gaming for AAA traditional games. Whereas in ours, it's 100% everything is accessible. But if you want to get unlocked new NFTs and progress through the ranking system, then you need to have the NFT, which is not a must, but it's an additional benefit.
Are you able to track the time that people are playing your game, like in time and how much people are playing it? Are you able to track that right now?
Yes. So it's usually a round or two. So one round lasts 30 minutes. So 30 minutes or an hour, and then you see different players, less or more, depending who joined what time. So some of them we've seen even 4 hours, but I think these are some of the I'm guessing younger generation of crypto and NFTs, and they have more time in their disposal than perhaps grown-ups. But yeah, I would say an average, an hour, an average.
That's cool. And do you do conferences? Because I was shocked, and I was talking to a couple of investors that showed up to see NFT Con, and they were just like browsing around, and I got to talk to a couple of them during the after party, and they were very impressed on the amount of time the kids that attended were spending playing cornucopias. And that really captured their attention. They're not crypto people. They just went there. They're investors. And that really caught their attention. And it caught my attention when it caught their attention, because they were spending a lot of time just observing how kids were sitting there for long periods of time, just wanting to play and play and play and play and play, which they say it's not very common when they go to these conferences. So are you doing conferences yourself? Are you
Well,
planning on participating in more? Because
we
that's really good for exposure.
yes, I agree. We tried back in when the CNFT Con was on, but we couldn't, because at the time it was close to a launch. We had so much to do. It was a choice of either going and postponing for 2 months, because the workload was, and some of the guys were off, between then and after the CNFT Con. So that would put us behind and delay for at least a month and a half. So which wasn't an ideal choice, but we had to obviously stay and complete the task at hand.
But we having a couple already announced. We have Rare Evo, which was amazing. You should consider that one for sure. We're going to be there. And CNFT Con's happening again, so I hope to see you.
Well, yeah, yes, of course. And one thing is also we're mostly the Europe based, and CNFT Con and Rare Bloom other events, if I'm not mistaken, happening in US. So it's a bit of a travel.
Which is where the majority of the money comes from,
Yeah,
like when it comes to like.
true.
Yes. Yeah, just putting that out there because that really is where you get a lot of exposure here in the US. I mean, I know that all these NFTs are from all over the world, but when you look at crunch numbers, you see where the majority of money comes from to invest in these NFT projects are here in the US. So, yeah, want to get exposure out there.
Yes, absolutely. This is something in the plans for 2023.
Hey, at launch, will you guys be having a scholarship system set up yet, or some kind of rentals?
Yes, this is something we will be doing once we get a bit more participation. Then more people come back to crypto. As you know, everything is getting a low participation because of dire market conditions. As things improve, the plans will change, obviously, and knowing that things will get better in time anyway, hopefully. We are thinking of putting different schemes in place, such as you said, rental, and we even spoken to a few big guilds. So yeah, things are happening around rental as well.
Yeah, that's a pretty significant point of entry for, like you said, guilds and communities and DAOs like mine. We want to give our community something, but without a way to delegate it, there's too much trust and management. So if you have a rental system in place, we can just buy in bulk and allocate as we see fit with our own events,
Yes, of course. This is something that we will be doing very soon in Q1, looking into more closely. At the moment, as you know, with all the holiday seasons, it's very quiet.
Well, thanks for coming again. If you want to put your last call for action out there, and I'm sure we'll see you soon because you're regular here.
Yes. No, thank you for allowing to speak. Becoming a bit of a nuisance, but yes, please do follow the Twitter posts. We still have this post for tournament announcement, and we're trying to gather a bit more feedback. What would be the most convenient time, and so that we can give away a few thousands of ADA.
Awesome. And I think I lost Epoch, so I'm here alone now to say goodbye to you. I hope you stick around. And